Hey, this is 6,
And this is 0.
and you're listening to the
60 XP. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first show on 60 XP with
6.
and 0. We are both very excited to start this podcast. We have been talking about this podcast for weeks, months about starting this.
Forever.
Yes, but forever for our time is about a month
About
and
a
a half.
month, yeah, about a month. Let's say about a month.
Month and a half. So, 6, what kind of things will we be talking about in this podcast?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked, 0, because we are going to talk about a lot of things which I have no idea. But if you could tell me what things we're going to talk about, I'd really appreciate it.
So, when I asked you a question, you just turn around and asked me.
Yes, that's pretty much how this works.
I hate you. So, with this podcast, we decided to talk about stuff that me and 6 enjoy, such as anime, gaming, TV
Mu-
shows,
Music, movies.
and much, much more. So, if all these things we mentioned are something that you're excited about, try out our podcast.
Because you're on the right place.
So, for our first episode, we kind of want to go over video games because I believe there's a little bit of nerd in everybody, and video games is just something that I believe everybody enjoys. What do you think, 6?
Pretty much video games is known worldwide, so it has no age limits, I should say, basically, almost. So for this episode, we pick a top 5 between each of us. So it's going to be like a top 10, but each of us gets a top 5 pick. So I'm going to go right into it, folks, with you. One of my first picks for this episode, 0.
Which is?
Oh, it's a fighting game. It's one of the best fighting games.
Is it Tekken?
Oh man, no, it's not Tekken. Your obsession with Tekken gotta stop.
Well, you said that it's the favorite fighting game, right? Most popular fighting game? That's Tekken, isn't it?
No, Tekken's not. Well, now that's debatable. Now, don't change the subject.
Okay, so now we instead of having the top 5, we are debating what is better, Mortal Kombat or Tekken.
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat.
The third one sounded a lot better than the other two.
Anyway,
And Tekken.
only one person said Tekken, so it all goes to Mortal Kombat. So Mortal Kombat came back out in 1992, right? And came out as an arcade game. Took over the whole arcade game series, giving a punch to the gut to Street Fighter, all of those other games, King of Fighters, everything.
Some people say that it's the evolution of Pac-Man.
I don't know where you come up with this stuff, man. Was that even on the script? I don't see it nowhere here on the damn script.
I'm just saying what I heard. I heard that Mortal Kombat is the evolution of Pac-Man.
I have no idea how that goes related with Pac-Man.
You continue on with your top 5. I just wanted to let you know that one of your top 5s evolved from Pac-Man.
Okay, we'll believe you for now. If not, Scorpion will rip his head off. So Mortal Kombat came out, big deal on the arcade series. Came out then for the consoles. One of the consoles, which is one of your favorite consoles, did not have blood on it, which was the Super Nintendo edition.
Yes, that was a sad day in Nintendo life. As a Nintendo fan, we don't talk about that, so let's not.
That was kind of a letdown. But every other console, well, if you count the Sega, which you have to put a code in, came with blood. And after that, the whole series got blood. Fatalities were included with everything. And pretty much that's where the rating for video games came about. Mortal Kombat to me is like super cool because all the story it brings. Also, it had Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which by now are household names.
Get over here.
Yep. And lately, the last Mortal Kombat games that have came out have a story that connects them, which is making it more interesting than what it used to be out before in the arcades. So that's one of my top 5, 0. What's yours?
So, one of mine, like we mentioned here, I am a Nintendo fan. We won't talk about the Mortal Kombat Nintendo game because that never happened. But one of my top 5 is Mario Kart 64 or what I used to call it, how fast can you lose your friendship?
Oh, believe me, that's very fast.
Yes, in the game, there is nothing more annoying than going through the game. You are first place through the whole match. You clearly are beating everybody on here. And then you hear the beeping sound, and you realize, and then you see the signal up top, and it's a blue shell. So you were first throughout the whole race, and now you get hit by a blue shell. You go down to ninth. So that's very frustrating. But what you didn't realize, and you realize after the match, the person who threw the blue shell is right next to you. Anyways, besides that and the loss of friendship I had with that person, it's a very fun game. You can play for hours and just continue to go on there. Colorful characters, fun tracks. Besides the blue shell, very cool items to throw at people and weapons. So that is one of my top 5.
It's pretty cool. Mario Kart will always make enemy out of friends.
Oh yeah, I like that. I'm gonna start using that. That should be the quote in there. Mario Kart. So Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart. What was it?
Will make enemies out of friends.
Yes,
That's
I like
my
that.
copyright. You're sued
I
if
like
you're
that.
using it. So my other pick, one of my other picks coming out is the Halo trilogy on Xbox, which basically catapulted the original Xbox on top, making it pretty cool. It's a first-person shooter game. It takes place in space with a hero called Master Chief alongside his computer Cortana. And basically, they're fighting this race of aliens called the Covenant. And
Oh, so that's how Xbox got the name Cortana on there.
yeah, pretty much that's where it came from.
That makes sense.
So they made that, then they made a bunch of money with that great story that they call on Halo 1. Then they went over to Halo 2, continuing the story all the way to right now we got Halo 5. But in my heart, the first 3 that were made by Bungie always have a special place in my heart. That's my original trilogy to me, and that's where the story to me takes more meaning.
Zero agrees with you with Halo 3.
Very good, very good. I see you're learning, Padawan.
Yes.
So what's next for you, man?
For mine, I'm gonna go with a shooting game, but it's a little more back in the past. Is 007 GoldenEye.
Another classic.
Yes, it is. I am, like I said, am very basic, and I am very Nintendo driven. I am a Nintendo fan, and so this 007 GoldenEye was the first multiplayer game that I played that I actually enjoyed the multiplayer more than I enjoyed the single player. Um, the single player was amazing, but the multiplayer was what I really got into. Nothing like going to a friend's house, playing multiplayer, killing each other, going there Friday nights, playing all the way till Sunday morning, and then my friend's parents kicked me out. So there's something like that, and it's an amazing game. That's why it's been one of my top 5.
I was about to say, didn't they ever kick you out? Like, what is this kid living here now?
Usually after a day and a half, they'll kick me out. I'll start eating their food, and they'll
a day and a half. I remember my parents asking already like 2 hours in. What is he living here now?
Well, that's the reason why we went to my friend's house, because their parents were a lot nicer than all the other ones.
Oh yes. All right. So my next pick comes from the horror surviving genre. Is Resident Evil. It's basically all the Resident Evils. I love all Resident Evils. From Resident Evil 0 to Resident Evil 6. I haven't played Resident Evil 7 yet. I haven't played the Nemesis remake. And my favorite Resident Evil is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but not the remake, the original one back on PlayStation. I used to play that game a lot. Jill running all around Raccoon City while Nemesis was following her all across the city, and you're just trying to survive, not getting killed by him. I just like horror games, and because I like horror games, the original trilogy of Resident Evil up to I would say Code Veronica is most of my favorite games of that genre.
You like horror games?
Yeah,
well, that only makes one of us.
You can say Silent Hill and The Evil Within, a bunch of other Fatal Frame, which you barely see here in the States, but back in Japan, It's another cool game to play, horror game.
The only horror game that I enjoyed was the one that we played in Tokyo.
Oh,
Which,
that was awesome, man.
yeah, but that was that's a little different, and you guys might hear that story in another podcast.
Yeah, that's another study for another day. So what's next on yours?
So mine is I'm gonna be like I said, I'm gonna be very very basic, and I don't have to explain anything on this. Call of Duty World of War. This is my first Call of Duty game that I played, and honestly, I never really played the single player on this. With all the Call of Duties that came in, I never played single player. I was just always in love with multiplayer. Um, and multiplayer and the zombies. Nacht der
Zombies.
Untoten.
Yeah.
That was a very good zombie map, and to this day, it's still my favorite zombie map. The first one I played.
That's some good memories right there, like screaming at each other, like, cover that window! I tell you, we're covering it!
I'm underneath the staircase. We're safe here.
I need ammo!
Underneath the staircase. Staircase is safe. Staircase is safe.
It's
Also-
everybody for himself.
Also, fun fact on this: this game is the first game that me and Six met. So that's not the reason why I like it though, but that's just another fun fact about that.
You break my heart. Why you say that?
Yeah. Well, before you start crying, can you go to your next one?
Sure thing. So on my next pick, on 5 favorite games ever, I picked the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Manhattan Project. That game came out developed by Konami back in 1991.
That's a Nintendo game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a
So I'm slowly getting you into Nintendo, huh?
You're not slowly getting me into Nintendo, man. I like Nintendo. I just been jumping from Nintendo to PlayStation to Microsoft, back to whatever, you know.
Oh,
I'm just cheap like that.
So you just play any systems.
Yeah,
You're not loyal to any one system. You
I'm
just
not-
pick any system.
I'm not
play.
married to a system. I go where the games are good.
So you just go around any system, no matter what they do, and then no matter what that system gives you, you always go to the next one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you stick to one system and you don't play another good game that came out in another one, you're not a true gamer. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So in that game, basically, it's just like all the other Turtles games. You know, the usual plot. Shredder kidnaps April, so Turtles gotta go over to save her. He puts Manhattan up on the sky.
You put Manhattan up in the sky.
Yeah, like literally Manhattan. You see it on the sky, and the Turtles got to reach it, and then they go
So
into
the Avengers
space.
stole it from them. Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh wow,
didn't-
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they had that scene in what was it, Slovenia?
Something like that, but it depends. Didn't those comics came out before that?
Yeah. So yeah, we don't. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So that's a little research for you boys to do out there. But yeah, that's another one of the games I love so much because it got all the villains and characters on it. So what's yours next pick?
So my second to last is my Final Fantasy VIII. I have played a couple Final Fantasies before this. I believe it's 5 and 7. But 8 always has a special place in my heart. I enjoyed the magic in the game. You were able to not only grow and gain levels with your character, but you also had a Guardian Force that you leveled up, and they were able to learn abilities to make the character even more powerful. With all that, the story was amazing, and in my opinion, this is the first time in my video game life that I felt like I was watching a good movie and being part of it. So this is one of the reasons why this is one of my top 5.
What if I tell you that I never had played Final Fantasy 8 or 7?
You have never played Final Fantasy 8 or 7?
Yep.
Wow.
I know, man. I know. But
And you're talking about you're a true gamer?
but
Final Fantasy 7 is so good that they had to remake it.
I know, but I never play it. I mean, it's it's one of those. Unfortunately, guilty. I'm guilty about it, but you know, it happens. But I do agree with you. Like when you play a Final Fantasy game, you get into those cutscenes. You just taken to another place.
Yeah, it's very good. So before we go to our number ones for each of us, we are starting a new segment.
Are we?
Yes, a new segment and a new podcast. We are just wild.
You gotta tell me about these things, man.
Yes, so this new segment for this new podcast is Dumb Conversations with 6 and 0. Enjoy. Duck you. Duck you.
Man, that is my word, and you're gonna get sued by every lawyer that I know, which is not a lot because I don't know no lawyer,
Man.
but you will get sued.
Oh, I feel safer now that you don't know any lawyers.
You know what I'm coming up with? That's also it's gonna say I drink and I duck you. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Oh my god, I got 3 phrases already.
What was the one? I missed that. I wasn't paying attention. What'd you say?
I hate you. I drink and I duck you.
Did you just read my shirt?
No,
You just read my shirt.
no, I did not. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, somehow I forgot my other word. What was my second one? I had a.
You just keep
What's
taking
that?
sh- You
What's
just
that?
keep
It?
taking shit from me.
Duck you, man. That is totally mine. Created in 1986, just like I was.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm stopping this shit because it's. And we're back.
So it is time to go into the ending of these top 5 categories for us of video games. But first, I want to do some honorary mentions, and one of those is going to The Witcher, The Wild Hunt, also Final Fantasy IX, Smite, GTA, and Call of Duty. If this was a top 10, they will definitely be on that list. So for my last top 5 pick, it's gonna be the WWE SmackDown series with SmackDown Here Comes the Pain and SmackDown versus Raw '07. I couldn't choose between only one of them. I love both of these games. I spent thousands of hours playing those games. Every great customization for characters, customizations for matches. It has the best, largest rosters besides No Mercy. Oh yeah, dig it. So that is my top 5 picks, and I just love playing WWE video games. So what you got for us, Zero?
Good choice. Good choice. My honorable mentions would be Halo 3, NFL 1998, GTA 5, and TMNT, the arcade game on Nintendo.
Classic right there.
Yes, very classic. That is my first video game that I have played. So now, going to my number 1, I am picking the 2017 Game of the Year.
Drum roll, please.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be Pac-Man because you've been talking about Pac-Man.
Pac-Man was not the 2017 Game of the Year. It was a good game, but not 2017. The Legend of Zelda exploration aspect was done beautifully to me. The world was huge and it looked really, really nice. Had a lot of different things that you could do on there as to cooking different types of food, making different combinations on food, to doing puzzles in the temple. So with the puzzles in the temple, it was a lot of fun. And I think that's the one thing that really won me over, was just that the puzzles in there were fun, but they were challenging. They made you really earn that spirit orb. So that is my number 1 pick.
That is a very solid pick also for you. A very basic one, but a very good one.
I am the basic one.
Yes, you are. So, boys and girls, with that, we gotta say adieu for today. That is the episode. I just hope the microphones were plugged in this time. If not, Lord help me. I am 6 signing out.
Well, I guess 6 is out. We would like to thank everybody for listening to 60XP. This is Zero signing out.